Hello, welcome out there to a John Cancio presentation. I am John Cancio. Joining me today, I have psychic medium Julie McDonald. But Julie is going to be interviewing me today, so she's turning the tables.
Yes. Yeah, I'm so excited
So
about it. So
that's kind of exciting right there, huh?
It is. It's really exciting.
And you are a psychic, so let's tell them a little bit about yourself before you do the interview for me.
Okay.
You are a psychic medium.
I am. I'm a psychic medium, and I've been a guest on
True
Talk. Yeah.
Okay.
So I work in the Albany area and actually all around, working with people individually. I do events, and I love doing things like being on John Cancio programs.
That's true. And you have a website that if the audience wants to know more about you.
Right, yeah. If you want to know more about me, you can go to mediumjuliemacdonald.com. Find out everything you ever wanted to know and more about me.
Well, very cool. So Julie's going to turn the tables today, I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome, thank you. I'm so excited about
this. Well, I appreciate you doing this as well. So.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So, John, you have True Talk.
Yes.
Which is a psychic talk show at this point. Variety with John and Anna. Mm-hmm. And you have the True Talk Journal.
Yes.
Wow. Okay,
yes.
So that's a lot for someone well, you look very young to me, but for someone as young as you. And I understand that you started doing TV shows at age 12, is that right?
Yeah, I don't know how old I was, but I was a baby.
Yeah.
I really was. I was a baby.
Yeah, I saw some of the clips and you look like a baby. So tell me about that. How did that happen? How did you suddenly at 12 years old wind up running a TV show, hosting a TV show?
That's a good question. I think that it really started because there was a void in my life, really. And I think that really pain is what brought me to do it. Maybe not feeling loved, not feeling like feeling emptiness, feeling like I was missing something. And I think that's what's drawn me to do it.
So tell me, John, for a lot of children who do have an emptiness or they have pain, for a lot of them it winds up taking a very negative turn. They may get into bullying other children. They may get into fights. They may have problems in school. So how is it that you managed at an age like that to take a difficulty and channel that into a creative outlet to begin expressing yourself and creating a forum for other people to also
Well, I think,
express.
like you said, some people do drugs, some people drink. I did shows.
Right.
Even as a kid, I did. So it's pretty crazy when I think about it, and I never really thought about it till recently, really.
Right.
And it really does stem from the emptiness that I felt as a person. And I feel like I would always do something entertainment no matter what. Right. Even if I weren't doing shows or whatever it was, I would always do something. And I always have done something, Even at the points where I wasn't doing shows for a little while, I was always doing something in that field.
So do you feel like it, initially at least, part of it was that if you were sort of performing, you could take that boy that was wounded, or the boy that was lonely, or the boy that had all of this stuff going on inside of him, and create someone different, create another reality for yourself.
I do. I think so. I think it is like another reality somewhere that you can go, and it's sort of crazy because people don't really realize like how much, and I don't want to complain or anything because I love doing it, obviously, but it's kind of crazy like all the work you put into it for this one little moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you do all this preparation and all this work for this 1 hour thing or this 30-minute thing. That's, you know what I mean? So it just goes to prove like, that's like a deep emptiness right there.
Right.
To put 20 hours into something just to get that little tiny moment of satisfaction.
Right. So John, are you comfortable talking a little bit about that emptiness, sharing it with the audience?
Yeah. I think it's because a lot of it, my mom I don't want to say abandoned me, but she wasn't there from like 7 to 10, and I never really thought that had anything to do with it. But now that I look back, maybe it did.
Right.
You know, so I lived with my grandmother through those years from like 7 to 10. And I come from a very loving family, and my mom is very loving, and she's very supportive. And, you know, I think that she feels guilty still to this day. But, and I don't blame her at all. I don't have any, like, resentment or blame towards my mother at all. But my parents weren't really there during that pivotal point. Like 7 to 10, you're like developing, and that's like a really important time where you're becoming like who you are as a person. So I think during those years, that just made me feel like really empty.
Right. And I know that your grandmother has a big influence in your life, because I'm often hearing sayings from your grandmother. My grandma always says. So obviously, even though there was that, it sounds to me like even though there was that child that said, hey, who am I if my parents aren't here? What does that mean about me? And all of that. During those formative years, at least you still had, you know, some positive influence that obviously is part of what helped keep you from going onto the streets or going into drugs or alcohol or what have you. Do you think?
No, there was a lot of love. A lot of love. But maybe there wasn't... maybe I wasn't taught enough responsibility, certain things.